So here we stand at the edge of 1984, bracing ourselves once again for the storm approaching us. Those who long before huddled in caves from the rain. The enemy's face is so hard to see. Sometimes it seems that I see him in you, sometimes in me.
In my family, I have 3 people. I have a brother, mother and father, and they both work. 3 years ago, I started to have a niece, which was a really good thing. But even with this situation, I still consider that I have brother, mother, and father, and her is not kind of part of my family. Well, once I decide to start a family, I think this concept will completely change. I mean, now my partner will be my family, and the kids that I will have will be my family. It does not mean that I will stop loving my parents or my brother, or even an extended family like granny or aunts or uncles. Definitely not. But my concern, my whole affection and love and everything and passion will be channeled to my partner. Definitely. I remember clearly from the childhood when I was 3, 4, and I think it was until I was 10 when every summer and every weekend we went to the river, because my hometown is standing in the river, and we had picnics there and we swam in the river, and it was just fantastic. Also in the childhood, I remember, and it was really dear to my heart because we don't have it anymore. When we were living together, dinner, it was all the time that dinner was with the family, father, mother, and my brother, and it was just perfect because once you become a student or you start working, it doesn't always happen that you have a chance to have dinner all the time with your family. And plus, they live back there in the hometown, which is 70 miles away from Minsk, where I live now. I've been raised with this a little bit sexist conception that it's usually a woman who prepares the food and who cleans the house. Well, which of course we did help our mother when she, when we had an extended event like a birthday party or a wedding anniversary, which we usually celebrate. And also, especially about the cleaning, if it was my room, I was in charge of cleaning it. But I forgot the question, I'm sorry. Well, what I think about patriarchy and the Soviet legacy, I think that it definitely had the roots in that ideology. Is that a man who's always the supporter and who's the one who's the main in the family. But now, since after the Soviet Union collapsed and drastic changes happened, I think this vast burst of European values that flooded Belarus, I think they are spreading now, and things are changing. Even I can say now that although the paradigm of relationship, in my parents, it's still sort of the same. Mom cooks and father fixes things, but equality is more welcomed on a not spoken level. You know what I mean? I mean, they start to feel that they need to, help each other on a more equal level. 2 years ago, I was an exchange student in Berea College, Kentucky, and before I left, the process of gathering all the documents and getting all the approvals, to leave the country and everything. My parents were sort of kind of excited and happy for me, but when the actual time came for me to depart, it was so funny. My mother kind of burst out crying. She was like, "Oh, I'll be missing you." And that was so unexpected. My mom does not usually express her emotions like this. It's usually something very extraordinary. I remember my brother told her that he's getting married, and she started crying. And now she started crying. I was like, "Why would you do that? I'm just going for a year." Because she probably thought that I would prefer to stay there or something. Yeah. I was very lucky in that college to meet a very nice girl. Her name was Samantha, and she just decided to get me acquainted with some American traditional families. She invited me to Thanksgiving, to Easter with them, which was just superb, which I'll get back to later. And also, there was one lady who also invited me and a friend of mine to her house for weekends, for several weekends, and we cooked borscht together, which was sort of Ukrainian tradition. Yeah, I remember when we going away from the Thanksgiving back to our dorms. Samantha was just like, bye, father. And he was like, bye, Samantha. And I was like, would you give her a cock? Would you give her a kiss? And it didn't happen. I was like, well, maybe that's the value of privacy or something. Or maybe they just treat, you're grown up and I respect your privacy and just don't want to intrude, intrude your freedom or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what accounts for it, but I can just say that there were differences. And another story. A friend of mine, Dennis from Ukraine, he had a roommate, Jordan, from a rural area in Kentucky. And we came to visit them. And they live in a separate house, and they have a yard, they grow their vegetables, they have lots of chicken, which was kind of like surprising. I didn't expect to experience this. And this rural sort of relationships were like different. In what way? Like this affection sort of like that's what they usually say in like a southern affection and love and adoration and hospitality. It was just mind blowing. I was so surprised, and his mother treated me like I was her son, like in a literal meaning. She was not paying like too much attention to Jordan, like unlike to Dennis and me. That was really nice. Yeah, and I think I have these ideas because I've been exposed to some Western culture, and like spending a year abroad, it really influences you. Even if it's not a year, even if it's just a month, it just completely changes the way you think about things.
Who can he be? No use consulting the prophets and leaders, they all disagree. Russians and Americans, here's a song for you who carry the weight.